April 2025. Bernie Sanders just finished a speech here in Los Angeles. He made another one in 2019 at a Bernie rally, also with AOC, right here in Venice, California. As a Jewish man born in Brooklyn, first-generation American, my dad's birthday, may God rest his soul, was yesterday, April 11th. He was born 1925. He fought World War II in active combat after being abused as a child in Nazi Poland. He quit high school to do this and then worked 40 years on his feet in a factory floor, Bernie, with never a complaint. So we're going to go into your rhetoric now, because as far as I'm concerned, your speech just now is one of the most offensive, disgusting, intentionally deceitful bit of un-American activity that I've ever seen, and I'm deplorable since 1951. Been a Democrat and a loyal one, JFK, MLK. Longer than AOC's been alive, maybe longer than her mommy. The 1% of poverty pimps in Venice, California. Let's explore the Oglioke. By the way, my dad wasn't a porno writer, Bernie. Thank you for race-baiting in Los Angeles. There's, 17 or 13 black people in Montpelier, or in the entire state of Vermont, that aren't black bears. So keep on educating us here. The Bernie rally in 2019 was so disgusting before that corpse was appointed to the presidency in a dirty deal. Horizon Apartments LLC, you bring the national news to me. I get restricted even on X, because there's no way for a bruised and battered and blacklisted and gaslighted non-criminal 74-year-old, 45-year resident of the West Side and Venice and Dogtown, Santa Monica Ocean Park, accountable, accomplished, blue and white collar work history, not writing porno, not getting free money from the government. You sure aren't on Obamacare, and neither is AOC, are you? You can choose your own doctor, can't you? If you're so upset about what's happening in the country, why don't you look into Hillary Clinton's successful health care promises and Barry Obama's Obamacare, which is petrifying HMO. I haven't had a physical in the 6 years I've been retaliatory evicted homeless. What's the 1% of poverty pimps, Bernie, that make more than 3 times my extreme low income Social Security from working, Bernie, with a hammer in my hand, motion picture studio grip, 20th Century Fox. Speed with Keanu Reeves, it's where I met my one Republican friend, my first Republican friend in California, and a good friend, Dennis Hopper. His son left Venice. So did all my friends and everybody else who wasn't kicked out, Bernie, by the oligarchs, Bernie, by the 1% of 100 of millionaire, billionaire Carl Lambert, who does similar race baiting. Horizon Apartments LLC. Christopher died as you were giving that speech in Venice in 2019. You are a disgusting predator. Felon Carl Lambert busting how many thousands from Loyola Marymount, so the idiot students, not idiots, actually they're really beautiful young people with good hearts, and they're going to be manipulated. They're not going to be allowed to work unless they're drawn into a really corrupted, manipulative system. I've been talking about this to 2017 because even with 1 million views on 2 YouTube channels, unmanaged, unsigned, unpromoted, unmonetized, broke. Let's get back to that. What's the 1% of people who make 30 or 40 times what I make from the same pot and put the illegal aliens in luxury hotels I haven't had a shower? I have to beg for sanitary stuff to keep my community of 45 years safe. A homeless person I know with a sex trafficking component, because that's who he was trying to protect a woman from, was shot in the head. Westminster Avenue. Ogliarch, Carl Lambert Investments, who created Tracy Park, who's partners with Meth Mike Bonin, who sponsored that Bernie rally. You're the dirtiest politician in the country. Waxing philosophic? Morality? I'm educated in child psychology, Northern New Hampshire, Franconia College. Let me tell you, after my motion picture studio grip, 5 orthopedic surgeries on crack-addled Chuck Lorre, social justice warrior, Dharma and Greg set, after working all those action movies, Die Hard 2 with Bruce, God bless him, Alien 4, Predator 2, NYPD Blue year after year, Law and Order. Tracy Park and Soldat Ursua claim Law and Order. That's a TV show I worked on. Soldat Ursua came here with this Snapchat deal that criminally hyper-gentrified, not just gentrification. I'm not anti-development. I love rich people. I'd like to be around more of them. I'd like to get a job that I'm denied, even data entry here, because they kill seniors in the street, Bernie, who aren't court Jews like Soros and yourself, or Jews like my father, who saw what was wrong in the world and taken many abuses that I don't want to go into in detail here and will not, out of respect for his memory and his service to his country. So, because I'm educated, I subscribe to Nonprofit Quarterly. Although this looks like iconoclastic, I don't have Megan Teller's set and makeup and Sephora account and staff. I can't be dramatically angry like Candace Owens really worried about Justin Bieber. And the intellectual content of these creeps dries up really fast on all sides of the media circus. Those of us who went MAGA in 2017 are not in the stands. We're on the field of play. Bernie didn't mention the anti-Semitic 300% uprise. I have to look at myself withering away. Look at my videos from 2 years ago. I had to cut all these tank tops because of the muscles in my shoulders and my side and my triceps and my biceps from working hard, though I didn't have a doctor. And it was a dystopian lockdown. And Valecia Adams Kellum, criminal, out of Judge Carter's court, just that first millions and billions, that's just the beginning of what I have responsibly documented over time and years, the first to call HUD fraud here. Christopher died while you were bullshitting. And why AOC was, a cantor was knifed during a service in the Valley. The big news that day in 2019 was they had captured one of the assailants. That was never mentioned. With all your show business people, with Cornel West being all that, Meth Mike Bonin having his day in the sun, bringing the media, securing his place at Loyola Marymount once he stopped being a council person. Then they kicked Tracy Park from Loyola Marymount as the new council person, getting as much as the President of the United States, ignoring Carl Lambert's sinking hotels, Venice V Hotel, Horizon Apartments LLC, Section 8 HUD fraud deal. Let's look at the 1% of sexual assaults and murders in Southern California on the west side. And let's look at Venice, California, where you came to promote yourself with Meth Mike Bonin. Let's look at the tragedies that happened since then. You're complaining about what? 8 years of Barry and 4 years of Joe, which is 12 years of Barry? Is that your bitch? So this will be iconoclastic and edgy, and I won't come on cross-com because I'm going to call you a son of a bitch porno writer, disgracing my father's service and memory. Catholic Charities, Dirty Roger Mahoney, '05. Hey, Gavin, listen up, bitch, because I'm dragging your ass. You brought the national media here. Hunter Barden right here for that makeup. Becky Dennison and Valecia had already had me beaten and battered and evicted. Soldat Ursua just got hired by HUD after I said publicly at a Venice neighborhood council meeting that the next time they saw me I would have subpoenas, because I got tired of not being able to give a presentation about these murders, about these facts, with a credible history and education. Doesn't look like it, because I need a suit, a haircut, a shower, a few days of meals. They broke so many teeth in my mouth I have to watch myself, on these videos, because it'd be irresponsible not to make them. I'm a songwriter. I don't give a shit about any of this. I had to learn it as I went. I'm not an activist. I'm called an activist by the media increasingly because activists have targeted me. I'm a songwriter. I like to Stan Becker songs YouTube, and I responded to this crippling, injurious violence and terror and horror which continues, with characters talking about this paradigm and protocol, starting Mockingbird Sings in 2018, referencing prescient silent film directors Fritz Lang's Metropolis, and using stills that I post-produced, because I still don't know how to make a video on a bottom-line Walmart computer that now doesn't work anymore. But I have voluminous files and specific files and massive files, and I need to have a respectful, calm, intelligent proscenium on which to make this presentation, and which to present these materials that the enemies, the people who love Boini, know I have, because I interviewed Valecia Adams Kellum in person several times. I've known her since 2011. I know about the Bank of America machine gun shootings that were covered up, the Surfside cocaine cartel, the blowtorch through the ATM there. I live here. They put me on the streets. You put me here. I'm the only one reporting. It doesn't have a storyboard news fan like when my friend Mary Klein, her face broken and 8 broken bones in her face, beaten mercilessly and raped on the Venice canals. The other woman, Miss Alden, was anally raped, beaten mercilessly, beaten to brain death, and we didn't even find out about it till after a month, and it was citizens who identified the guy and got a picture of him out there to protect the community. And I went to Venice Neighborhood Council, not Tracy Park, who endorsed Adam Schiff, then had the nerve to push FEMA on President Trump and the First Lady when they came here in the first week of his administration concerned about these fires. Newsom, you're into this. Gavin, I'm going to destroy your chances of a political career right here and now. Listen up, bitch. 2005, Dirty Roger Mahoney, pedophile protection racket, commensurate with the previous Holy Father, beginning what became a censuring of a cardinal, which is extremely serious. And the result of traditional Catholic families protecting their children, and traditional Catholic reporters of great note and renown like Steve Lopez and others. And BuzzFeed article about Ed Buck, social justice warrior, torture murderer, cruising recovery rooms for victims like Meth Mike Bonin, like Crack House Jack V. Hoffman, Snapchat, Market Street. They're 12-steppers, all right, because that's how to sell a condo to a drunk actor that's vulnerable and stupid and impressed by dilettante polysyllabic pseudo art critic crap from a schmuck. Because Fred Dewey's gone. There's no art left here. And I'm not even here to complain about that. I'm here to say that Bernie's a fake, that he's a liar. And Gavin Newsom's meeting in '05 with Meth Mike Bonin and Dirty Roger Mahoney. Now that non-disclosure pedophile protection racket expenditure is over $1 billion. They're making it up through Catholic Charities, Santa Monica. Because all that bullshit Bernie talks about. And National Social Work Quarterly, I subscribe. I have more education than these idiots they're dumping out of Luskin and Loyola Marymount to be Jew hate, academic manipulated idiots, abusers, mental health professionals. UCLA Med, UCLA Luskin, the patient drops, the prison drops, right here in Venice. Look at the police map of Los Angeles. It's all right here, and then a little piss dribble down to where Venice is, where they put all the crime. Because it's profitable and it's socially engineered, like these riots today, like destroying Tesla, a patriot like Elon, a first-generation American patriot like him, saving lives. The George Floyd riots. Becky Dennison brought BLM LA, Becky Dennison, Horizon Apartments LLC, Carl Lambert, Soledad Ursua protected. It's a protection racket. You're not going to educate yourselves. You're not going to allow yourself to be educated. So it gets to the street where you sent me. Fuck you, Bernie. You're a Soros Jew. You're a Jew-on-Jew hate crime Jew. Catholic Charities and Bet Tzedek, Jewish Family Services, Jewish Federation, expunging felons for the workforce. Here's a National Social Work Quarterly is concerned about. They go into great detail about brain chemistry and psychological marketing and training you to action and to not obey. Because trans people are being killed, that tiny percentage of people they race bait and also destroy. And Newsom, drug your child, butcher your child, have some creepy predator tell your kid they're not allowed to discuss it with your parents. That's who you are, Bernie. You're the same porno writing son of a bitch that you've always been. You wouldn't have even had that $1 million from Booker. What do you have, 2 homes and a townhouse in D.C.? You're going to come here where I'm starving to death, where Jewish people and black people, where the Hispanic women in Horizon Apartments was raped and beaten and beaten and beaten and raped. You forced me to look into the document and to show the world, which I will, because no news van came when they weren't white, Bernie. And that's the money behind you and Soros and the billionaire class. National Social Work Quarterly is very concerned about the DEI, NGO, NPR, possible defunding, and they want to get people ready to know, psychologically prepared. Psychologically prepared. What about the psychological trauma of concussions in the back of the head by Bobby Maddox through Valecia Adams Kellum? I can't get a lawyer because these lawyers are concerned about trans people. Those of you who have been watching the 350,000 views, you know, I tell myself, be calm. You're just going to make it easier for them to remove your credibility. But I don't give a shit. Because if you're that stupid, you're that stupid. If you're that disconnected, you're that disconnected. But it's your money that put me here. It's your money. Your advocacy, your Becky Dennison, your West Side Coalition, your Community Corporation of Santa Monica, your Santa Monica Coalition, Santa Monica Conservancy, Hollywood Community Housing Corporation, Safe Place for Youth, which is actually sexual predators on youth, unimpeachably documented, right out of Venice Neighborhood Council. Soledad Ursua, shut her mouth. What's she doing working for HUD? Scott Turner. Bill Esseley. Don't take a 74-year-old MAGA, 2017, in the hardest left environment standing up for his country, and continue the censorship, continue the blacklisting, continue to not respond, to not suspend Soledad Ursua immediately, just because they bark the right Trump tune starting in October, like her mommy, Gloria Romero, Soledad Romero Usua, Snapchat, Orinoco Real Estate, hundreds of millions in municipal bonds. She's going to pollute HUD before Trump can get it going. Stop making these unforced errors. Hey, Bernie. Hey, AOC. You rubbed right against me. I was a reporter for the Caledonian Record based in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. You were very pleasant. You were clean and smelled nice. I appreciated that. I was in the press section when they opened it up and all, you know, you're sort of like a rock star to these kids. And, but you ignored all the relevant stuff. You came here first class, like today, first class, talking about Greens, first class, being a show business star. It was really sad what you did. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, you know. I know Westchester County. I know where you're working out of. And these lies are very destructive. And they're very destructive to the kids you're manipulating too, because a lot of them are really beautiful people who do love Jesus, and you're lying to them. And you're lying to them. You know, I started making this video several times outside so you could see the Bank of America building behind me, and I wouldn't have to look at myself aging so fast, and no nutrition, Secretary Kennedy. Not only no protein to work out on, no good food, no food at all, no vitamins, no care. The illegals got anything. Don't you think they could have sent one case manager one time if they had a professional one? I'm being killed on purpose. So Christopher died in that one apartment that day, Bernie. You bitch. AOC. You hypocrite. While you were smiling and dancing about and being a star on tax money, Christopher died. Gay as can be. Black as can be. His husband died, either murdered or jumped from the 3rd floor. The same apartment that Susan was sexually assaulted in by first residential manager, non-Title V, Sydney Zamora. Soledad Usua, Venice Neighborhood Council, knows about this and shut her mouth. She doesn't belong in the Trump administration. She belongs in prison. And she's going to be part of the subpoena process as well. Unless I hear from somebody in the MAGA organization or related to Doge, or related to our dear President Trump or our dear Elon Musk, who wants to direct me in some other direction. This has to come out. You're not killing any more people in silence. Stan Becker Songs YouTube, 1 million views across 2 YouTube channels. The other one is the Extemporaneous Senior Citizen Reports like this that I didn't want to make one of, because being blacklisted, you know, I can't. They won't even let me have a data entry job. And there's 30 or 40 DEI trophy jobs, blacks and browns running around here as fake police every day. And a new population, because that's what redlining's about. So no, I'm not anti-wealth, I'm not anti-development. But when Prick Caruso saddles up with Karen Bastard, and he was still able to sell condoms and Twinkies at his Palisades mini mart. He's such a classy motherfucker, you know. Those billionaires are so fucking classy. Private water, private firefighters sucked the little that was left out of the water pressure. Many died. The cancers, the lead, the sea mammals going crazy and biting swimmers. The catastrophe that's not even being talked about that's going to last for years in this ecosystem. Tracy Parks hugging kitties and doggies, looking for forever homes for doggies. Carl Lambert felon. Every time I went to the Venice Neighborhood Council, and I had to memorialize those because Criminal protection rackets know not to put a camera there, like many small towns and big towns all over the country for Venice neighborhood councils, which are government organizations. They say, oh, we're all volunteers, says Brian Averill. That sexual assault cover-up pimp president with Linda Lux. So they'll have controlled events. Oh, you RSVP, and then there's a 1 minute limit, and we'll have a Zoom. You know, if you're so fucking stupid that you have to kill innocent people, talk about merit-based shit and loyalty. Where's my $3,000 a month and one night in a hotel, one chance to do a laundry? Maybe 3 times a year, maybe just Christmas or Hanukkah. Passover's coming up. I didn't get passed over, Tracy Park. You did Gary Stewart. This is the anniversary of his public suicide opposite Santa Monica Superior Court, where black vagina Bobby Tillman, Superior Court judge, evicted me without attorney. Where black vagina Burnell Williams, I mean, you're into black and you're into vaginas and you're into trans. Okay, so that's our court system now. Killing Jews, killing citizens that stand up for blacks, that take pictures of blacks who have been stabbed like this, LaFoy Johnson. And then I have to go online and say, well, there's no public record of that. Of course there isn't. That's why LaFoy got $250,000 to shut his mouth. But we've got the records. I took the pictures. I interviewed the principals. Elon, take that restriction off of me. I know I don't have that much notice. After 6 years of being battered by Twitter Jack, still being battered by Zuckerberg, just take on faith that